from Transformation Entertainment. At least I think that's what it says. It's the Mecha Transformation Tyrannosaurus Warrior, or as we like to call him, Beast Wars Megatron. Yes. I saw him, he looked kind of cool. He looked kind of like a hybrid of the original and the Transmetal, and I'm like, cool. And he wasn't very expensive, so I'm like, cool, even more. And decided to grab him to show him to you. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. Been watching for a while. Thanks for coming back. That is totally tubular. Okay, I'm an 80s kid. And there is a cat right here. This is Paul. Paul is apparently very much in need of some affection and has decided now is the perfect time. So you are welcome to participate in the video. We're going to get into the Tyrannosaurus Warrior, or T-Rex, as he also likes to be called, or Mr. T. Anyways, we're going to get into this. But first, be right back. All right, so a nice box. It shows some nice artwork on the front. I can get around Paul here, and there he is on the back. And it looks like, I don't know that you can actually squirt anything out of his mouth. Shut up, Logan. But if so, I'm not going to be squirting stuff. But I am apparently a VIP. By buying this, I become a VIP. You're a VIP too. Here, we'll put the VIP card right in front of you. See, you're a VIP. It has instructions, and also you can scan a QR code right there for a tutorial video. Let's take a look at him in his packaging. Now, as you can see, he's a little horny. He's got a little horn on his head. He also has an alternate head, which looks much more like Megatron. And he's got the T-Rex head, though a horned T-Rex, so I don't know. That might be a different species that I don't remember. I'm not a paleontologist. And you've got the tail on the other hand. On the other hand, you have the tail. So nothing to clip. Just take him out and put him in a standing mode. And I'm going to pop off this other head because we're probably going to take a look at it. We'll put that over there and instructions over there, which they're pretty simple. So looking at him, he's pretty cool. He's purple. It's a purple dinosaur. He doesn't probably love you or me. No Predacon symbol. He's actually not the exact same mold. So this is definitely a third-party version of a toy that looks a lot like Beast Wars Megatron, but is not. I'm going to put him on the turntable of Dune, get his knee out of that awkward position, and you can take a look at him from all sides. There you go. Like I said, his head is not Megatron's right now. It's got a big horn in it, so it's kind of a horned dinosaur. I know that's a different kind of dinosaur than a T-Rex, I'm pretty sure, but they probably ended up outproducing in offspring the T-Rex because they were so horny. Yeah, those are the bad jokes. Anyways, let's take a look at some poseability. And I do have to say, I did break this out already because I wanted to see how difficult it was going to be for this review. And it's not that difficult. However, I will say the plastic, it's not horrible quality, but it's not like, doesn't feel like Hasbro plastic. So, but he can do a full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme because of the things on his legs. Not really a way to spin them around for stability. And now that Paul has, how shall we say, departed from the table, not, you know, the way Megatron was thrown out of a space shuttle. But yes, full Jean-Claude Van Damme. He can kick forward, he can kick back, he can do a side kick, bends at the knee, even a little bit more than 90 degrees, I would say. And he's got a swivel at the knee, so far I'm not seeing much difference between him and a lot of the Hasbro toys. He can twist all the way around at the waist. Woohoo! Now the arms here can go all the way around, and the head can also go all the way around. Now if you push forward on the head, it's gonna like start the transformation process. So just be careful of that. So now a couple things. One is, while he's got these wonderful homages to the original Megatron, and he can open up the jaw and he can fire if he wants to, this actually pops off and he has a hand. So you can bend at the elbow. There's a swivel here right below the elbow. The hand can turn, and it even has articulated fingers. So he is pretty cool. And so you can put that aside, but wait, you can also do that on the other side because he's got another hand. It's also these twisting wrists and articulated fingers and all the same stuff. So you could take those off and he could actually, you know, rub one out or, you know, do whatever. Now, one thing that I've found that I don't like is part of the transformation is going like this. And he's got a little clip here that pushes in, but it has a tendency to wiggle its way out. So right now with it in, he doesn't accidentally flip, but apparently he does. That can wiggle out pretty easily. Now I'm gonna pop off his head. Oh, for this head. And I have to say that the Megatron looking head, once you pop that on, is a great homage to Megatron. Looks a lot like Beast Wars Megatron. Really nice. So this isn't Megatron because they gave him this head, and then I said, well, it's Megatron because you can make him into Megatron if you want. That's totally up to you. Not our fault if you decide to. The other point of poseability is these plates, which are similar to what he had in the original form. And they can turn, they can move in and out. Shut up, Logan. And they're pretty cool. And as far as height-wise, he's like 9.5 inches tall. Oh, ankle swivels, he has ball joints at the bottom of his ankles, touching to the feet. So not really ankle swivels per se, but they work. You know, again, pretty poseable. He's also a little bigger and a little more purpley than Beast Wars Megatron. This, I think, was like a 10th anniversary edition or something. He doesn't have the little plates that change him into a beast face, but it's pretty much the same mold as the original Megatron. So not the alligator one, the T-Rex one. So pretty cool. Now, the transformation is actually not difficult, and you actually leave on the tail and the head, which do have little hinges that allow you to open it up a little bit so you can see when you plug it into the holes on his forearms. So you basically have those on there. You turn his arms and push up like so. That flips forward, the head goes inside, and you close it up. This goes right on top. Ta-da. Now that little thing here, which of course when I want it to be out, it's a little lever. You unplug that and you basically, well, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, you also pull up. So this is kind of clever. You pull up his crotch plate. Sorry, you pull forward his crotch plate. So as you can see, he's hung. Same in the back. And then these legs split apart, including having his penis turn. And since you've undone that clip, you basically flip this back. And you flip these around at the same time. So it kind of looks like that. The legs you flip up. See, there are two posts right here. There are two posts, these, that line up. You can, by the way, flip these back down, and you should. There are two posts. You plug in the leg, you flip the leg back down. Same thing on the other side. Push these down, flip it up, line up the posts, and flip down the leg. Almost there, because you actually swing the leg forward and bend it at the knee, and on the inside of the leg, there's a little slot, and you want to make sure that these former crotch covers are pushed down because you plug in the leg, the interior of the thigh, onto that post. Then you can flip that whichever way you want. Again, on the other side, like I said, this is not the most high quality, but it's actually pretty clever the way that they've done it. We're almost there. The legs, you just got to like line up, and the forelegs, or the little arms, you just fold out, and there you go. It's kind of a Transmetal-ish version of Megatron, but purple. And of course you can turn the tail in different ways. The little thing opens. The arms can move. The head kind of moves side to side. Depending on how you have the arm configured, you could also move it up and down. The mouth opens. There's a cannon in there. It does not, I don't know that it has a light in it. I don't think it does. So I think that's false advertising on the packaging. But it is pretty clever and a kind of neat version of Beast Wars Megatron. And I think it was like 30 bucks. And I like it. Definitely going to have some things to say to the other Megatron. But yes, he's got horns on this head too. So again, I'm not sure what particular dinosaur is called, if it's a T-Rex, but we do have choices of robot heads, either one of which will fit when you transform him. And he's pretty cool. And of course, I'll put a link in the description so you can check it out and potentially get it if you like this guy as well. And length in Dino mode, he's like 14 3/4 inches. So from head to end of tail. So good size. A fun transforming toy that could be called Beast Wars Megatron. Yes. And again, I think it's a fun toy. And if you're having fun, by all means, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. That would be awesome. And while you are mulling over this really interesting version of Beast Wars Megatron, let's go to the G1 Megatron and you can actually take a look at this knockoff of the original G1 Megatron gun. Worth looking at. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.